Okay, hi everybody. So today I'm just going to do a little exploration and overview. And, I get frustrated doing videos like this sometimes because there's always so much more that I think about that I could have said. There's just so much that I have a hard time verbalizing. So really, it's just kind of about stimulating and doing a bit of an overview. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to start with one of my favorite quotes, which is it's "Everything is nothing with a twist," and it's a Kurt Vonnegut quote from Slaughterhouse-Five, I believe. And Vonnegut's books are deep. I mean, they're just symbolically really interesting. It's expressed through his fiction in a really interesting way. So, always recommending him. And "Everything is nothing with a twist" really is a beautiful way of connecting everything and nothing. When I hear somebody say that infinity is a trap, to me, it just reveals that person's finite mind. It's like infinity is infinity. It's saying that infinity is a trap is like saying that life is a trap. It's like, okay, go back to non-existence then. I mean, is that what your goal is? I don't understand. I don't think people often think past their anger over all of the shit going on. And they don't realize that the big psyop, the really big mind fuck is about getting people to hate life because it's been adulterated by a bunch of dipshits who want to take your life from you because they're vampiric. Okay? So anyway, that's my little spiel on that. Infinity, this is one way to symbolize, the main way that people symbolize infinity, but these are the same. And so, but what you have here is the unfolding of creation, and this X marks the spot, which really ultimately has everything to do with time and beyond time. But anyway, so you have this X marks the spot, and so that dot in the circle emerges. That's your singularity. That is, really, it's toroidal, and, the torus spiral curve. And I brought up the tarot trump card number 9 in my last video, the Hermit. And I brought the Hermit in because the Hermit is carrying that diamond-shaped lantern, and I'm going to get to that. But anyway, so you have this X marks the spot, and that can be extrapolated into, the cross. Here, I'm sorry, the camera's going all over the place here. So this can be, in a rudimentary way, it could be your location in space-time, but really, this being the moment is all there really is. However, through this unfolding of linear time, we end up having like this fractal moment. And so it can be represented in a grid, and voila, you get the pound sign, really. You get the number, the number sign. And these are the particles in that, subatomic lattice. And this is where the whole matrix starts to emerge. This is where number plays its role. And whereas what's in between, this is, you go from this to having form. So, we're all bound to the cross kind of thing. The symbol of Earth is that cross in the circle. The mark of the beast is the X in the circle. So it all starts to come together. And in 3D, we have 6 directions. Okay, we have up and down and north, south, east, west. I've represented them here. And so really this is where that diamond-shaped lantern that the Hermit is carrying in that Hermit card comes in. And in other depictions of the Hermit card, there's a 6-pointed star inside of the lantern. And so I find that symbolism really interesting because that is the lamp in the dark. And like I was saying in that last video, I mean, everything is pretty much in the dark. We have this like small spectrum that we live in that's what this is. That's what this cube is. So 3D, 6 directions, the cube is equated with 9. And, the magical squares basically have everything to do with this number, the way that numbers are computing the particle-based reality that we live in, and where these particles are in space and time. And there's just like so many things that, you can apply this to and go into. I mean, this whole Mandela effect idea, even if you just want to look at that as like a metaphor and a concept, and it's like where you're located in space and time, what if that can change? What if that can be changed? What if there are processes that can change that? What if going back to this and this is a way to change that, So anyway, I'm going to move over here too. I wanted to, another point I wanted to make today, in my little nonlinear way, is about the Kabbalah model, okay? So, we have the supernal triad, we have Daath right here. And this is where, and I drew a line here because everything above Daath is really over the rainbow, technically. And below Daath is the cube, the 3D cube. And this is where we have, I tried to trace it out here. You can see multiple cubes in the Kabbalah model. However, the truth is that everything above Daath that's represented by the triad is totally not comprehended by the reasoning mind. Daath is the line, your corporeal self and your corporeal mind really can't go past Daath. Daath is where, the projector is located. So this light, the original light is projected through Daath. And a lot of esoteric and occult people are, and this down here is Malkuth or Earth. A lot of people have pointed out that before the quote-unquote fall, the mythological fall, Daath was Malkuth. And so you really just had this diamond body. And there's a lot of, it's really hard for me to put all this into verbalization without going into a really long talk. So I'm going to simply say that, this is where I think perhaps some of this symbology of the fall is dimensional. And perhaps it signifies falling from the fourth dimension into the third, But really, everything below Daath is the rainbow. And so you have the seven spheres below Daath are the 7 bows of the rainbow, technically. And that's, there's a lot of different interpretations and whatnot, but that's fairly common and easy to understand. And so really, our lives are lived in the cube, and a lot of what this is about navigating and using this, because I think what all of this is a gestation, and that there is through this whole process of living in 3D, that there is a descent and an ascent going on. And this is where, you get the symbolism of Christ on the cross. And when we incarnate into these corporeal bodies and individuate, that's what the sun represents. The cube is your body. The cube is your vehicle. It's also the matrix that we live in could be expressed as a cube. And really, it's like infinity in a box, really. This is where, we actualize infinity, and infinity, then expresses, and once it does, it becomes finite. Your spirit is free. Your spirit is infinite. And then you come into a body, you come into a corporeal vessel, and bam, you are limited. Okay, one more thing I wanted to add is so over the rainbow, this is outside of time. Okay, and it's just, this is all just a map. It's not the territory. It's a representation You know, this is nothing but a tool to help the mind understand some of the concepts, because what happens, you know what, I'm going to post a quote below that I think really sums up my philosophy on it, that I read in a book, actually, and I find it resonates with me so deeply. I'll just go ahead and post that below because it's kind of like the punchline. But anyway, I'll be back with more of this stuff later. Have a good day, guys.